Welcome to Talks with Sheba, the place where real people give real answers on issues plaguing our community today. Hi, I'm your host, Dr. Sheba Holly. Thanks for joining us on this marvelous Monday. We aim to invite, excite, educate, and empower. So let's talk. Let's talk about domestic violence. So, he swept you off your feet. Sparks fly through the air just because he said, I love you. Then, the first slap, the first kick, that first black eye. Too many women fall prey to these demons in disguise. What do you do? Who do you turn to? You deserve better. Let's take a look.
Dear John, I want to scream to the top of my lungs that I hate you. Not just hate, but a burning, passionate hate. But that's not the case. I had loved you and given you everything willingly. Let you take it even. You were my entire being. I carried you. I carried you. And even when I told you, you gave me some excuse. I would have been there if you needed me. I love you. I'm sorry. You're everything to me. Lies. Because of this, I was damaged to say the least. I tried to hide my shattered heart only looking at the pieces in the dark of night, hiding my tears in painted silence, refusing to let anyone lend a helping hand, all because of you. Seems like the world mocks my heart with the love in the air and all around me, watching others engage in something I thought I had. Well, I did have, but only on my side of the road. I had it alone. Now, I don't fault you for anything because you know what? I knew that you never loved me. I knew it was all lies. Thought I saw something in your eyes all the way to your soul that wanted you to love me, and maybe that's what I held on to. I have let this plague me for far too long. I couldn't, no, wouldn't allow others to give me hope of love in my little world. I never asked for much, just for the truth, even if it hurt. But you continue to lie even to this very second. So why fool myself? I've said over and over again that I'm completely done with you. But this time, I completely mean it. You are no longer a thought, the beat of my heart, or the reason for my tears. It will take some time, but with the help of someone, I will be better. Thanks to someone close to me, I have realized this, and I will forever be in his debt for reminding me of my worth. As for you, I thank you for teaching me a valuable lesson. Thank you for showing me what I do not and will not tolerate in my life. My potential to be the love of someone's life, and that I don't need you. You came to me asking for another chance because you knew I'd give 100 more. And in the next second, you disappear. Well, this time, continue that disappearing act. I found clear air to breathe, and in my misery, I'm actually happy. There's someone waiting to love me, and I'm going to give him that chance. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to let go. You ought to see me now with the sun in my smile and the stars behind my eyes. One small step for me. Thank you, Jane Doe.
Whew, that was deep.
Awesome.
Tonight, we have Mignon Brown Anderson, the founder of the Lakeisha Brown Foundation, and we have Lakeisha Davis-Small, author and motivational speaker. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here. That video just, it breaks my heart because what happens, we tend to think that we're not worthy.
Yes.
We tend to think it's okay and give chances over and over again. Over and over again.
Absolutely.
So, Mignon, the Lakeisha Brown Foundation, could you tell the audience what that means to you?
The Lakeisha Brown Foundation is a domestic violence organization that was started to eradicate domestic violence. It was started in 2007 through the tragedy death of my daughter, Lakeisha Brown, who was murdered by her boyfriend at the age of 18.
And it's just interesting that you're not bitter. You want to
No.
make sure that other people get help, that they understand what's going on. So could you tell the story? Because a lot of times when we hear about domestic violence, we don't know, or a lot of others don't know, that it's a cycle.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's a cycle, and there are signs.
Yes.
Certainly.
Well, I am a third-generation survivor of domestic violence. I experienced my first altercation at the age of 16. So, and at that time, my boyfriend then, he had choked me, and I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell anyone because growing up, it was acceptable. It was like that was a part of the relationship. You know, growing up, seeing friends and family members fight with men, it was like normal. I didn't come from a household where I seen a healthy relationship and what that looked like. Mm-hmm. All the relationships and marriages, they had some form of abuse in it, whether it was verbal, physical, or emotional abuse. So I didn't know what a healthy relationship looked like. And so going through life, I kept getting the same type of relationships. It was one after another, you know, until finally where I married my abuser after I had already been pushed out of a car, hit in the head with a stick, had a black eye. And I was that woman to keep giving chances because I thought that if I loved him enough, that he would see the good in me and he would want to be better for me. So that was my understanding of it. And my daughter at the time, you know, she grew up, it wasn't her dad. She grew up in that household. They didn't see any of the physical, but they seen the results. They seen the black eyes and things like that, which, of course, I lied about everything. I had a story for everything. I mean, it was like children throwing rocks at me in the park. You know, it's funny now, but you were in that state because I had built him up so much, and I didn't want no one to say to leave him, or I told you so, or you were stupid. I just wanted to, you know, keep it all to myself and just act like it wasn't happening. But it was happening. And it was very detrimental to my children because when my daughter grew up and she started dating guys, she had met a guy at 14, which was that same guy later became the guy who murdered her. Oh, you know, so it is a cycle. It's generational curses that if you don't deal with those things, then your children will repeat those things. If they're in our household and they witness those things. And everybody knows that it's not right, you know, and it's not good, but it still don't deter you from going into that relationship. That's just like it.
Well, what signs did you see? Did you see any signs?
With me or with my daughter?
With your daughter.
With my daughter, there was signs in the beginning that her and her boyfriend was fighting, and we stepped in. You know, I had stepped in, her dad had stepped in, her brothers, and also my abusive ex-husband had stepped in. We had went to the police station. We had informed them of it. I had even talked to the young guy's mother and things like that. We thought, when I say we, me, my ex-husband and my daughter's father, we thought that it had stopped, but it didn't stop. It just stopped coming to us. She started going around other family members which I didn't know until her death, that she had black eyes and things of that nature. I said, I never seen my daughter with a black eye. I said, she was around you with a black eye.
Wow.
But they never said anything to me. Like, no one never called and say, hey, do you know your daughter has a black eye? And it was just another cycle because those people as well has been in abusive relationships.
And it kept a secret.
Yeah, that's what it is. They keep the
secret.
secret. Right. Yes.
And they were adults.
Yes.
It wasn't like they were her peers.
Right.
They were adults. And it's
Right.
like, you should know better. You are the protector. You are the role model for this young person, these young people, because it's not just your daughter. That man had a problem. That young man had a problem.
Yes. Absolutely. Even with the organizations with as far as being an abuser, because even in my relationship with my husband, I became the abuser. After all the abuse he put me through, then I started abusing him, becoming more verbally abusive, and even I would lash out and hit him. So it's no winners in this whole abuse thing. You know, everybody, and like even with my husband, he was broken. I was broken. We came from two places, growing up in broken households, and then we come together and try to be together, but we're two broken people hurting and not knowing why we're hurting. And you just keep doing things over and over again. And it wasn't until I got therapy, until I realized why I was accepting those types of relationships and that behavior.
That's insane. So you saw the signs. Other people saw the signs. Your daughter thought this was love.
Yes. Absolutely.
She thought it was love.
Absolutely. That's what I showed her. From the outside looking in, I showed her that because I continued to stay in that relationship with the verbal abuse and the physical abuse, hoping that it would get better. So I showed her to stay.
And I also experienced domestic violence, and I dated this person from a teenager, and I was on my way to marry them, and the night before, like two days before the wedding, I even traveled to get married. 2 days before the wedding, I was beaten badly. Black eye, busted. Yeah. The only thing, I didn't lose any teeth. And I made that choice. To go. I said, I can't marry him because my father said, they hit you once, they will beat you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And it was the most painful thing ever because I love this person.
Yes.
But what I do know is that he watched his mother be beaten by her boyfriends, dragged down the street naked. Naked down the street.
Wow.
So it's what they're seeing. It's the norm.
Absolutely.
It's the norm. And when I'm to the point where you're not going to put your hands on me. That's number one. But now I take it a step further. You're not going to abuse me psychologically.
Yes.
Ooh, those are the scars you
Those
cannot see. I mean, and they go deep.
Yes.
They go deep.
Yes.
They are deep. I will not allow it.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable. You will not bring me down.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I have all the answers. No, it took a lot for me to go there. It took relationships, and I inch by inch, I start loving myself more, and that's what I was doing. I wanted to love me more. First, I said, I love God. God loves me. I have to love me. Why is he loving me if I'm not worthy? So your organization, and Lakeisha, you work with Mignon in this organization. So what do you guys do?
Yes, well, I am the vice president of the Lakeisha Brown Foundation, and what is so amazing is definitely I'm going to answer your question. We go out, we educate the community, we do workshops, we bring awareness to the community. We want people to understand the signs. We want to give them a plan of action to get out. We just want to help people, and we have been doing this for 8 years, and what's amazing about this is that my daughter, Serenity Keyshawn Johnson Davis, was born on March 16th. And Lakeisha Brown went home to be with the Lord on March 17th.
Yes.
Wow. So there's always been a serious connection since that point. I mean, I've known Mignon since I was 21, but I was 28 years old when this happened. And my daughter and Mignon are so close because my daughter is now 8 and she says, Mommy, Aunt Mickey lost her daughter. I have to be there for her.
Yes.
I have to be there for her, Mommy. So God brought one life into the world and took one out. So Serenity feels obligated.
Yes.
She feels like she doesn't have a choice. She doesn't have a choice in the matter, and she sometimes she gets jealous, don't want to, want Mignon to share her time with other people. And she'll actually pray with her and say, God, please help me. I'm being jealous right now.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yes, because I want my Mickey to myself. But she's honest, and she does with a lot of adults couldn't do. Be honest about their feelings. So she really loves Mignon. I didn't mean to go off into
No, that's fine.
a tangent,
That's beautiful.
but this organization started because Mignon lost her daughter, but she gained a daughter as well.
Absolutely.
Serenity is her surrogate daughter, niece, all of the above. But yes, I'm happy to be a part of the organization. I started out as a secretary,
Okay.
and then I worked my way up.
Yes, you did.
I worked my way up, people.
Up with mobility, with the foundation.
Yes.
So she saw the hard work and the dedication, and she felt that I could fit the bill, and I have been.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So the workshops, what do the workshops consist of?
Okay, so we do one example. We have workshops for young ladies and adult, older women as well. But we'll bring mirrors, and we'll have the women look into the mirror, and we'll ask them to tell us, what do you see? What do you see? And we've had women who couldn't look at the mirror. All they saw was a loser or pain or things of that nature. But very few women have high confidence and self-esteem when they look in the mirror, and we realize that that's one area in which domestic violence preys on those who are insecure, those who have serious insecurities about their either outer or inner being. But that is definitely a loophole, and we want to get to people, get to their self-esteem, try to help build them up, because I am a survivor of domestic violence as well, and I know that I stayed in that relationship knowing that it was wrong because my self-esteem was low. But once it got to a level that it was just out of this world, and it was hard for men to get in good with me. Even my husband.
He was like, she made me pay.
She made me pay for all that. Yes, I did. So
Wow.
But God is good. So we just want to help women. We want to empower them. We want to encourage them, and we want them to know that there is hope. And the man that you're with is not it. It's more men out here, and they're good men out here.
Absolutely.
There's a lot, ladies.
Yes.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Think in abundance.
You.
Think in abundance.
Yes.
Well, we're in DC. DC is small. Go outside, DC.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes. So, so we definitely just want to build the self-esteem of our women, and men get abused too. So we want them to feel secure about themselves too, and don't feel like they have to settle, because of their insecurities, whatever that might be. But
And to be ashamed, men no longer have to be ashamed to be victims of domestic violence, because with women, they get a lot of the verbal abuse that we put on them. So it's okay to say that, you're being abused, because there's help for you too. You have to figure out, why are you allowing someone to talk to you in that manner, thinking that you can make it better, but you can't make it better. They have to help themselves. They have to want to be better, first of all.
right.
And for those men that are, I wouldn't say the abusers, but for those young men that have grown up in those households, what can you do for them?
Well, they have to first recognize that there is an issue, because statistics shows that with little boys, that they're twice as likely that if they witness domestic violence in the household, that they will grow up to abuse their children or their significant other. So if you have those traits and you can't control your emotions and anger, you must realize that there is something going on, and there's help out here. You have to talk to someone. Therapy, a lot of us in the Black community don't believe in therapy because we think that we're crazy. Well, some of us are. There's a lot of mental issues out here that's going on that's not being addressed. So
You're like, let's not get it twisted.
yes,
some
don't
of us
get it
a
twisted.
little
Some
more.
of us are a little more than others. And even with myself, I had to go to therapy, and I realized that I had a lot of issues of how I viewed men because my dad wasn't there. So I had a lot of abandonment issues and rejection and issues of feeling unloved, and it was attributed to my dad walking out, which I didn't know. So we have to go back and we have to find those things that's going on so we can be better people for one another.
Definitely. So how can others get involved?
Well, everybody can get involved because this is an epidemic. It's global. I mean, anything you can do just by you speaking up. You could just say, that you will not be abused in no form. You let people know that I'm not tolerating this. And as far as the organization, because we are nonprofit, the funds there, and there's so many people that need help. So many people that's escaping their abusive relationships, and they have nowhere to go. So, you have to send money. If you have money, instead of getting those new Jordans, send it to an organization that's out here helping people, because it's hard out here. And a lot of these shelters, they're in deplorable conditions. Don't nobody want to leave no $100,000 house to go live in deplorable conditions with their children. It's unacceptable. So why would they leave? They feel, well, I might as well stay here and do this until I'm able to get out. And then that's not a good thing because they may lose their life in that meantime of trying to get out. So support the organizations. At the awareness events, step up, come out, donate, get with an organization where you can be that face just to say something. And if you see something, this is another thing I wanted to say. If you're living in a house and you hear your neighbors screaming or an apartment and you keep talking about somebody upstairs and downstairs, keep fighting, stop ignoring it. Call the police. You can put in an anonymous call and just have them come out for somebody's well-being. Somebody can really lose their life in those moments. So I just asked that. And I say that because I was that woman when me and my ex-husband was in an apartment. And one day when he had beat me and I was screaming, I said, okay, if I scream to the top of my lungs, then someone will call the police. So with me screaming and hollering, he turned the radio on a little bit louder, but the police never came. Wow. No one never sent the police. And so I'm just saying that if you hear something, just say something. It's not about minding your business. That is your business. You are a part of the community, so you must stand up and just speak out. If that's what I can tell anybody to do. Just speak out. Say something if you see something.
Yep, definitely.
I'm just stunned because it's true. Someone's always turning a blind eye and covering their ear when they hear stuff like that. So I'm so glad you said that. And it's just like, how can you not say something?
Nobody wants to get involved. They have this thing of, I'm gonna mind my business, but you see the state that we are in as a society, and that comes from everybody minding their business. So that means that we must do something different.
And we mind our business on the wrong things.
Absolutely.
but Susie could tell you what Joe was doing with Kern the other day. Okay, we don't want to get in the business of helping people.
Right. Not that business, because that's no fun. That's no fun.
That's no fun.
And then you don't know the scoop because you just might want that guy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait till they break up. She need to go.
Yes.
Well, help her go. Call the police.
Yes, help her.
And you can get some of what she got.
Yes.
Because it's not going to change.
Not going to change.
Yes.
Not going to
It's
change.
not going to change. Well, do you ladies have any events coming up?
We do. Well, we're going into the new year. We have an event that we're doing. It's not in this area, but we are going to North Carolina the end of January, where we're going to be doing a domestic violence awareness event down there. We had some people reach out to us from the area and was basically saying that there's nothing being done in their area, which is Rocky Mount, North Carolina,
about 4 hours
where
away, right?
nothing is being done in that community for domestic violence. So we're going to go down there. We're going to, with the Lakeisha Brown story and our own personal stories, to bring awareness to them. And it's something that we've even what they have done is that they're going to have us come every year. So they're going to make it an annual thing that they do every January. So we're very excited about that. We're also excited about the partnership that we have with Raheem Devon and the Love Life Foundation.
Nice.
Yes. And so we'll be going into the high schools February to bring them domestic violence awareness and stuff like that, just to help the younger children, to let them know that, because they're going through it too. As I said, I was 16 years old when I experienced my first altercation. And so they are going through these things now, and they're under a lot of pressure. They're under a lot of pressure to have sex and do all these things that they're not ready for. And so we just want to go out and educate them.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So you're not just spreading your wings in the DMV. You are going outside. You're going down the coast.
Yes.
You're going down the coast. That is wonderful. Still to come. Been there, done that. Don't want to relive it. Lakeisha.
Are you or someone you know suffering from stress, anxiety, or depression? Have you experienced feelings of frustration due to lack of family and/or career support? Let's talk. Relationship issues got you down? Get the help you need. Contact Dr. Sheba Holly, mental health advisor and life coach, at clarity.fm/Dr. Sheba Holly. That's DrShebaHolly. If confidentiality, comfort, and convenience is important to you, guidance is provided on your terms. You deserve peace of mind. Contact Dr. Sheba Holly, mental health advisor and life coach, at clarity.fm/Dr. Sheba Holly. That's DrShebaHolly. Get answers now. Make your appointment today. Let's talk. Clarity.fm/Dr. Sheba Holly. That's DrShebaHolly.
You're now tuned in to Talks with Sheba. I'm your host, Dr. Sheba Holly, where we invite, excite, educate, and empower. So, Lakeisha, you have a story to tell, lady, that breaks my heart. You know, it literally makes the hair, I don't have hair right now, but it makes the hair on my arm and neck stand up. You're a motivational speaker.
Yes.
You're an author, but it didn't come without a journey.
Definitely.
Could you just let everyone know what that journey was, that pain you felt?
I sure will. And thank you again for having me. You are awesome and you are beautiful. And I just want the world to know.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I want you to see a video before we go into your story.
Sure.
Because someone out there, they're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm right next to you touching you, it's real.
Yeah.
I know this person.
Yeah.
And she's a strong woman. So before we get into your story, Lakeisha, I'm going to hit this video.
All right.
And stole away their innocence. But you gotta be strong.
Be strong, be strong.
'Cause you're not alone.
You're not alone.
I know it was wrong.
So wrong, so wrong.
That's why I give you the song. So help you move on. How would you feel if someone you love violated your trust and made you ashamed to say what they had done? Sometimes you couldn't eat, so many nights you cried yourself to sleep, afraid to give your love. That's why you turned to alcohol and drugs. It wasn't fair, the hand that you were dealt. I can't pretend to know just how you felt, and you were so in pain. Your life will never be the same. Take my hand, and I hope you understand. Whether you're a woman or a man, it's time to take that walk and know it's not your fault. sweetie. Lord, I want to talk.
And touched him.
Now just imagine living within pain.
She touched him.
Ooh. I know. It's. I'm speechless. This is what happens. Mm-hmm. It happens under. Oh, sweetie. It happens right under noses. It does. Mm-hmm. It does. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And you know what's amazing is that I tell my story all the time. People hear me, people on Facebook, people everywhere that have come to our events have heard me, you know, tell my story. But seeing this video tonight, you know, it pulled on some heartstrings. With the scene with the little boy in the shower and his mouth being covered. Being as though I was raped by sodomy, which is rectal rape. It brought back memories because my attacker covered my mouth so that I wouldn't scream. So, you know, when you go get rectal exams, it's uncomfortable. So for someone to force their penis in your rectum like an animal and have sex with you for like, it feel like hours, is traumatizing. So, you know, I'm glad I'm here and I'm glad that I'm actually showing this emotion and showing people that this is real.
Yes.
So that if you are a parent and you know your child has come to you and said, you know, mommy, your husband or my daddy or my uncle, whoever has touched me, and you tell them that they're lying and you tell them you don't believe them, they're going to grow up one day and be an adult like me. And they're going to have pain and they're going to have issues and things that they're going to have to deal with because mommy didn't protect them or daddy didn't protect them. In my case, I was 5 years old. I was sodomized by a cousin in which I spent the night at my cousin's house that particular weekend. So I was a weekend prey because he had been preying on family members for a while. But I always look at it like God used me as the sacrificial lamb. Because had I not went there, my cousin wouldn't have gone to jail.
Got it.
He would have continued on his rape and his abuse to his nieces and nephews, and they would not have had a break. Now, I was told by one of my cousins, Keisha, you know, when Uncle Michael went to jail, we had a break for 8 years.
A break for 8 years.
We had a break from him for 8 years because he had been sexually assaulting us for years before you spent the night, that one night. So when I think about that, you know, I thank God, and I know it sounds crazy. I know, you know, no one in their right mind would think, well, why would you thank God that something like that happened to you? No, I don't thank God for what happened. I thank God for using me to help my cousins get free.
Yes.
Right.
And that takes a big person. And I always say, I don't have a normal heart. I'm not your typical average female. God gave me this heart. Because who would want to take such a beef like that? Who would want to take pain and torture like that for somebody else? And say, I thank you, God, for that because you're helping me. Even right now in the day, as tears are rolling down my eyes, you're helping me help someone else, Lord. That's real. I belong to him.
Yes.
There you go.
I belong to him no matter what. Don't get me wrong. I'm no saint because psychologically I endured a lot of issues due to being raped so young. My dad, he was a single dad and my mom wasn't around. So the best thing he knew to do was to put me in church. And I actually went to church at 10th Street Baptist Church in Northwest DC, and which is next to Shaw Junior High School.
Okay.
So my dad felt that, you know, putting me in church would be the best thing for me. So I grew up a church girl who was dealing with these emotions and feelings and anger, but yet all I knew was Christ. So as time went on and the residue from my pain started leaking out, my behavior showed. It was evident, it was obvious that something was psychologically wrong with me. You know, one example, I stayed in an abusive relationship for a number of years and knew it was wrong, but I stayed. I've been in situations with men and I knew that I did not want to be a part of the relationship, but I wanted to feel safe and secure. So I'll give my body. I will allow myself to lay with whomever I felt that would protect me, that would make me feel safe, which led me down a path of crazy stuff. I mean, I had to write a book about my life to get half of this out of me.
Yes. Like, I gotta release.
I have to get this out. So, you know, and the fact of the matter is that you'll never, and I'll never be totally healed from the situation, but I have found my path of healing. Mm-hmm. You have to find your path. You can't say, okay, I've been abused or I've been hurt and then just leave it alone. Like, you have to find your path to healing so that you can move forward and move on. Not that you'll ever forget it, but you have to find a stable place in your mind to be able to deal with what happened. I'm 37 next month, January 24th. This happened when I was 5. So I have all this pain and suffering inside of me because guess what? Like Mignon said, in the community, in the Black community, psychologists going to see one, oh, that's taboo, or we don't do that, we're Black. So in my mind, I had that same mentality until I almost killed my boss. And that was residue of the pain that was there that never got dealt with. Jesus was my Band-Aid, but Jesus said, let me step back because there's a wound I need you to see. So in order for me to heal it, you can't just use me. A lot of times, Christians want to use Jesus as that band. I'm married to Jesus. 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 You know what I'm saying? Jesus like, hold up, but
I want to be seen. No strings attached.
And Jesus like, yes, I am there, but just realize that you're human and you live on this earth in this human body, so you have human issues that you need to deal with. You can't keep using me as an scapegoat.
Right. Yes. Right.
You can't keep doing that. You have to deal with it. Put it on the table and say, I have a problem. I have issues. And God, I believe, again, he allowed me to get harassed by one of my male supervisors who made me feel threatened, and I was going to kill him.
She said so calmly, I was going to kill him.
Yes, and you know, I actually used that example to say that God is real because he led me to therapy. He told me, Lakeisha, I have a purpose for you, and it's not, as Mignon say, a jail ministry.
Yes. Yes. I know that's right. Not a jail ministry.
So I went to Ephesians Christian Life Ministries, which is spiritual therapy, but they take insurance just like any other therapist. Okay. And I started there. And then I moved forward and saw other psychologists, and I ended up with Dr. Fabulous, who I talk about in my autobiography, and which is Dr. Malone. And so I got the help that I needed because I didn't realize that if you don't get treated, if you don't get help, if you don't realize that you are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, that things can happen in your life and you look up and you wonder why, how. I mean, you have people that do a lot of things because they've been sexually assaulted and abused. So, you know, I'm here also to help. I have not arrived. I'm just here to help you find your path. Yes. You know, and I'll be a lie to say I've arrived and I'm this place and that place. That's a lie, and God knows that's a lie. You know? Yeah. But I am working on it. I am a work in progress.
Yeah, you're a work in progress, but you describe yourself as the modern day Harriet Tubman.
Yes, I do. And this is why I have to tell you what I discovered about her. Y'all, I know they didn't teach y'all this in school. I know they didn't. Do you know Harriet Tubman had hyposomnia? Look it up. Hyposomnia is a condition in which you fall asleep. Exactly. At the blink of an eye. And with this condition, and she knew this, and the reason she had this condition because of domestic violence. Her slave master busted her in the head with a dumbbell because she wouldn't chase a runaway slave. So, you know, she suffered. So as she started her journey, you know, with the Underground Railroad, she would fall asleep. She'll have 15, 20 passengers, as they say, because she was the conductor. And she'll just fall asleep by a tree. And they'll shake her, wake her, and she would not wake up. It's with this condition, you can't wake up.
Wow.
God have to wake you up. There's nothing you can do. Pinch, throw them in some water, whatever. It doesn't matter. They can't wake up. So Harriet knew that she had this condition. And Harriet knew that God told her she had something to do. And that was first free herself, like myself, and then free others. So what I take from Harriet Tubman and how I feel that I can even line myself up next to her is to say that I know I have a condition, an emotional condition, which is called post-traumatic stress disorder. And in the midst of that, I faint and fall out sometimes. I don't even know who I am some days. I mean, I'm always consistent with my personality, but my emotions, what I deal with on the inside, the things that people don't obviously see.
Right.
I know that I can relate to her because I keep going, I keep pushing, I keep fighting, and I keep saving people on this path, on this trail. So many people's lives have been touched because of my story and me not giving up and me not fainting when I really could have, because it's a lot that I deal with on the inside part. I know I look nice and cute on camera, my nice outfits and stuff, but there's a spirit that lives inside this shell. It lives inside this body and no one can see it. Only me and God can actually see it. So I have to take care of it, you know, and I with this condition, like I said, I'm determined to free others, just like Harriet was. And she could have said, you know what, I'm going to free myself and you all get free the best way you know how, because I'm getting up out of here and Mass ain't beating me another day. But I feel the same way. I don't just want to free myself mentally from the psychological bondage that I endure. I want others to be free too. It's only fair. It's only right. And that's what God would want me to do. So I'm going to keep on this path and doing what he wants me to do until he called me home.
Amen.
There
Yeah.
you go. And there's no stopping you, because you did say you have the spirit of Harriet Tubman. And remember that story about her?
Yes.
About that guy?
Yes.
That wanted to turn back?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. Let me tell you.
Oh, no. Have to hear this.
Yes. Okay. So it was a young man who was with Harriet Tubman. And, you know, Harriet always came in the winter. So always remember that. Whenever she freed slaves, she came in the wintertime because she knew it was cold. The slave catchers didn't want to come outside. And the slaves barely had shoes, clothes. It was freezing. They had to give babies opium that drug them up so they wouldn't cry because it was so cold. So this guy, young guy, you know, got halfway down the woods and says, you know, Harriet, I gotta go back. I'm sorry. I'm cold. My feet cold. I'm hungry. We're gonna get caught. The slave catchers. I hear the dogs. I just gotta go, Harriet. I can't. Harriet looked at him. And this is at the Library of Congress. I'm not making this up. Google it. She looked at him and in our day, I'm going ad-lib. Look here, sweetheart. I love your grandma Sue and I love your Aunt Georgia. But I tell you the truth. And she pulled a pistol out and she said, if you think you're going to go back, I'm going to have to kill you. It's no other way. Because I can't sacrifice all these lives because of one person's fear. So he lived to tell the story, evidently, because I'm telling y'all. He kept on going. So I feel the same way in that instinct, in that regard. And I'm serious when I say this. I would never allow fear from anybody to stop me from doing what God has me to do. So if you're fearful, goodbye. I'm sorry. I have to leave you where you stand, because it's too many other people's lives that are on my hand that God ordained for me to touch. So if you're fearful,
Laters. You know, with all the pain you both endured, how can you trust? Honestly, how can you trust anything? I wouldn't believe anyone.
You have to have good people in your life to show you how to trust. I know when Lakeisha came into my life, I didn't trust. I didn't trust women. I didn't trust men. I didn't trust anybody. But she showed me what a real sisterhood and a friendship should be. And so now with me being around her and her teaching me what a friendship should look like, now I have trust that there is women who want real relationships that can be trusting and forgiving and accepting. You know, if someone has to teach you that, if you're around people and all they do is gossip and backbiting, you're gonna think that's your world, so you're gonna think that's how the world is.
Right.
But when you come outside of that world and get with a different group of people that show you that there's real love out here and you can trust people, you have to give them a chance. You know, we can no longer keep letting people pay for the things that people have done in our past. You know, we have to be able to forgive and move forward and know that we can trust again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So where are you, and I'm asking both of you, where are you in the healing process?
I am in a good place in my healing process. And let me explain. I invest in myself. I take time for myself. I love people, but I have that quiet time where it's just me and my soul. Like, I don't cut on the TV, the radio, anything. Like, it's just me. I invest in reading inspirational, empowering books. I invest in my word. I read my word every day. I do things that make me feel good. I mean, you're liable to come to my house and I'm in a room partying, music blasting. You would think I have a house full of people, but it's just me. So I invest in my happiness and my joy, and I've realized that I control my emotions. Regardless if I'm feeling crazy on the inside, I don't have to show you that. You know, my name is Smiley because I'm gifted enough to smile through my adversity. So in my process, I'm in a good place. I'm in a very good place in my life for me, not for anybody else, but for me. So,
And how are the men in your lives handling your movement?
good question. Go ahead,
You
babe.
said good question.
Well, for me, with my healing, I'm into being honest and truthful with me. You know, I'm learning to accept my emotions and my feelings, not suppress them, you know, to deal with them and to be able to move forward and just to be as honest as I can with me and live within my own truth. If I'm angry and I'm going to be angry because it's okay for me to be angry. I don't have to live there, but I have to recognize that's what I am. I'm angry right now. So I'm in a good place in my healing process of just continually trying to learn the woman that I'm becoming every day. And as far as the men, it's a little struggle still in my life with men, you know, because, you know, sometimes you're like, is this real or things like that. I can say that I have like a really great guy right now in my life.
He is.
Oh my God, sometimes I take him through the ringer still, but I'm a work in progress. I ask him to be patient with me. You know, I still have a little bit of that residue of trying to be a little cautious, but I'm open. You know, I'm open to what's going on, and I just want to be. I'm free to love again, so I'm accepting that.
Yes. So I'm so excited. I just love my new brother. But with my husband, it was hard for him at first because I guess just like with anyone that's busy, that's out here grinding, you know, the husband wants his time.
Right.
So it was hard for him in the beginning. He noticed that Mick and I are a powerhouse and we keep it moving. And at first, you know, it was hard for him. It really was really hard. I mean, stressful in our marriage. But now he has come to a place of realization, and he's realizing that he doesn't want to have fear. He wants to allow Harriet Tubman to keep on her journey. He wants to ride with me.
Okay.
You know, he doesn't want to get left behind. And I'm not saying that in a smart way or anything.
Loving way.
But it's in a loving way. But he understands my purpose now. You know, at first, he kind of had a smidget, a little idea of why God created me. But now he has a better understanding. And he knows that now he can't get in God's way. It has nothing to
Absolutely.
do with me. It's what God has me to do.
Fantastic. Well, I thank you ladies for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My time spent with you was fantastic.
Yes.
It's
It went by too
always an
fast.
awesome time with you, Dr. Sheba.
I don't want to go. Well, it's a wrap for us tonight, and I thank you so much for joining us. Ladies, give that website. They need to know what you're doing and be able to contact you to get into those workshops.
Definitely. You can get in contact with me on Facebook or Instagram at Mignon, Mignon Brown Anderson. Also, the Lakeisha Brown Foundation.org. And just get in contact, shoot us a DM or a message, just let us know. You know, we always have workshops on domestic violence, sexual abuse, PTSD, self-esteem, suicide, and depression. So we're dealing with all of those topics in the community.
Yes, and if you want a copy of my autobiography, you can go to Amazon.com. It's called Your Deliverance is Coming. And also, my website is www.Lakeisha, LakeishaDavis-Small.com. That's Lakeisha Davis-Small.com. And there, if you go into my bio, you will see me do a dance on a slave plantation that was built in 1746. That was told to have restless spirits that still walk the property, y'all.
Ooh, that's a bonus. That's a bonus.
So check it out.
Well, here it is. We're down to our last few minutes, and I plead with all of you out there that have experienced domestic violence or know of someone who is being sexually abused. And remember, we are the protectors of children. It is our responsibility. We are one another's keeper. It's our responsibility. Do not turn a blind eye. If you are hurting, reach out. There are places and people that can help you. You are not alone. It's like I say this so often. We are not living in a world that's a bubble. Mm-hmm. Domestic violence is real for men and women and children. Sexual abuse. So, take that step. Believe in yourself. We believe in you. Yes. We believe in you. You are worthy. Okay? And remember, work like you don't need the money, love like you've never been hurt, and dance like nobody's looking. We'll talk later.
Talks with Sheba. Be empowered.